Hello, tbcr here, and yeah, I have an Amiga 1200 in front of me, a PAL Amiga especially, and this is Cytadela. Now, I know what you're thinking, Teeps. It clearly says Citadel right there. Well, Cytadela is Polish for Citadel, and this is a Polish FPS that came out in '95, and fun fact, it was made by a bunch of high schoolers, and you're going to see some stuff in this, and you're going to be like, that's pretty neat. Anyway, a few things to note. One, there is flashing lights in this game, particularly when I pick up items and when I get hit. The hit stuff is very important. We'll get into why. And I need to make sure I set this to easy because it defaults to hard by default. Anyway, we're going to begin this run. Oh yeah, and there's one more special thing. If I hit the minus key at any point, the game will crash, so I need to make sure I save every 2 to 3 levels, just to be safe. But I do need to mention that because that is a very important thing about this game. But anyway, we're going to begin the run in 3, 2, 1. Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
All right, I'm going to hit F7 to get this full screen so you can view this game in all its pixelated glory. So this is a very simple story of revenge, somewhat. You are a pilot of a battleship called the X-16. There is a prison complex called the Citadel, and it has gone radio silent. You have been sent with your fellow pilot to figure out what's going on, and the X-16 blew up, and you are alone. So you have to figure out why the place has gone silent, which you don't. And number 2 is you have to blow the place up. So the main objective is we're going to need to pick up bombs in each of these sections. This opening section is not that, though. We just need to get to the end of the 2 levels. I need to be a little bit careful right here, so let me switch to the shotgun. Oh, that's not good. So enemies that are immolated like this, they have a larger hitbox, and I accidentally just picked up booze. So I need to be a little bit careful here. The movement, as you can see, is very left and righty, and that's going to kind of impact my aim, but that's fine. On easy, these enemies do go down in 1 hit, more or less. Sometimes they don't, but that's fine. I am holding the mouse a bit weird. I have to fire the gun using the right mouse button, but it is rapid fire, so I am doing a lot of clicks at the moment. All right, so let's carefully do some strafing. So I should also point out this is version 1.3 of the game. This is from 2022. The developers came in and fixed up some stuff, made the performance a lot better. And generally, yeah, this is my favorite version of the game. 1.2 has some interesting stuff, but it's also tank controls with the keyboard. But this one is definitely very speedrun friendly. All right, so let's go over here. Just need to make sure I hit the switch. If I hit the other one, I can't actually complete this level. So let's just do a little bit of strafe running down here. Now, there's another fun mechanic, but I don't want to go into detail about that until we actually start the next level. All right, there we go. And we're done with the first section, the dungeons. So now I'm going to save the game. Very important I save the game. By the way, if I'm at like 150 health going into a level, you can just, or leaving a level, you can feel free to scream save in the background. All right, so the sewers. So a fun mechanic with this game, you may notice there's a heart meter down at the bottom left. So whenever I get hit, I will actually slow down in speed. And there's speed power-ups, and I'm going to try to pick those up. They kind of look like turkey basters. And that just adds your max speed. And I need to be a little bit careful here. I probably explained that poorly, but you'll see what I mean as the game progresses. All right, so now I'm just going to do a careful strafe right here. Do I get it good? Yep, don't have to touch the mouse at all until I get to right here. By the way, if you want to read off 1 or 2 donations right now, this is probably the best time to do that.
Perfect. $25 from Rosla, who's glad to see tbcr on the big stage again. Good luck on the run. Less than 3. We also have $25 from Ramona, who says, hello, teams. Greetings from the Cooney Corner. Congrats on making it to SGDQ's final day. It's wonderful to be part of a community of such talented people. Do your best.
Thank you. You might have time for 2 more donations.
All right, we've got $5 from Threnaga Battleheart, who says, hey teams, glad to see you on GDQ with the Amigo once again. You are one of the reasons I'm getting into speedrunning, and you're always a great person to watch. Go fast, avoid that equals button, and remember, only you and the RNG of the Citadel.
Yeah. All All right, so we're heading into the last level of sewers, and fun fact, this is probably the shortest level of the entire game. We've just already started. I hit a switch, we go through this door. We picked up this bomb piece is the first of couple, and we're done with the level. All right, so we're done with part 2. I'm gonna definitely make sure I save, and we're gonna head into laboratory, which is probably one of my least favorite parts of this. This is fairly long, and there's a lot of hit scanners. There's 2 types of enemies, hit scanners and projectilists, and this is almost entirely hit scanners in this first section. Oh, went the wrong way. It is 4 a.m., you know. So, got a little bit of the sleepy still. All right, so movement speed is very slow at the moment. The heart meter is going fast. That's your indication that I am going very slow. But if it's going very slow, I'm going very fast. Kind of a weird inverse, isn't it? All right, so the first key input that I'm going to have to worry about is right here. I'm just looking at the keyboard occasionally just to make sure I can hit 8. All right. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, so now I just need to try to wiggle the mouse a little bit. It does kind of help with slowing the heart rate down. For some reason, it's kind of odd. You're exerting more energy to lower energy. Anyway, I'm also going to use the Q and E button to kind of turn a little bit fast because there are some enemies that can hit me as soon as they see me. There we go. I'm going to switch over to the minigun so I can give my thumb a break. Or my index finger break. All right, there we go. Let's do a little bit of turn there. Very good. I need to make sure I don't move forward right there because I'm teleported back to where that switch is. I'm going to switch over to 9. There we go. And the blue key is the 0 key, and that's next to the minus key, so that's the key that we got to be very careful about. All right, so now we're heading into the second half. So this game has a fun thing where I picked up booze earlier. There's a section here where you can't avoid it, so I'm going to have to deal with fun. Movement impairment for just a little bit right here. And this is probably a good time for maybe 2 or 3 donations.
Of course, $5 from Quiwi, who says, "Hey teams, hyped to see you on the stage again. Been watching since your degeneration run a while back and stuck around for your good vibes. You've got this." We also have a $25 donation to MSF from Taxodium, who says, "Hey teams, here to support you from the audience. Finally, the world gets to see Cytadela. Good luck with the run." Thank you so much, friends.
So yeah, fun trivia. This is the second consecutive Amiga game I think I've done for the event in a row. And Degen's pretty cool, and this game's pretty cool. I think this is like my favorite Amiga FPS. I do run a few of them, Alien Breed 3D 1 and 2. I am working on those in the background. So maybe you'll see them here in the future, I don't know. All right, so I need to be a little bit careful here because there is a hit scanner. Okay, cool, they're in a good position. They're not just around the corner and can still hit me for some reason. All right, very nice. So let's go down here. I hope you're enjoying this diegetic soundtrack right now. There's only music in the opening, the ending, the intro sequence, which you were not able to see because I actually loaded the game during the break, and the... I think I mentioned everything. Yeah, the intermission screen. I don't know. This game has a lot of funny noises. The enemies, like, just prowling around, noises like that. They're deaf noises sometimes. There's a lot of neat ones. I might highlight one in particular if I hear it. We'll have to see. All right, 0 key. Good. Game did not crash. That's an accomplishment. All right. On to Laboratory 2, and this is another good point for a donation or two because I have to go in a straight line.
All right, I actually do want to give a quick update. We are at $860 of that $5,000 to pet that friend-shaped fox in the boat, the Path of the Teal Lotus run coming up later. Definitely get your donations towards petting that wonderful fox. I've also got some global love coming on, $5 from an anonymous mountain who says, "Greetings from the beautiful morning sun in the Bavarian Alpine Mountains. I watched the Mario Maker relay race yesterday and it was awesome. Thank you so much for that wonderful donation."
Okay, so the fun part with this level, other than this right here, sometimes I forget about the 2 enemies that are right around the corner and I get nailed with the hit scan, which is always fun in the middle of a run. Oh, fun fact, I did world record on this twice in the practice room over the week. This game is really hard to get a good time in. But I have been consistently in about the 29 to 31s, but I did lower the time down to, I believe, a 28:40. I am also the only runner of this game, so it's a little bit relaxing that I can kind of just, chip away at the time at my own leisure. All right, so there we go. Got to hit that switch. Picked up the turkey baster. I'm just going to call them turkey basters. And we're going to make our way into here. This part, I can lose a lot of speed if I'm not careful. All right, got the one. You may also notice the color commentary provided by the game at the bottom. Some very humorous lines sometimes. All right, so let's hit that button. Oh, accidentally hit the use button twice, which makes the screen do that. I don't know why it does that, but it's a neat thing, keeps you on your toes. All right, so let's carefully strafe into here. All right, we're done with laboratory 2. Now into laboratory 3. There is a turkey baster I'm going to need to pick up right over here. Can't forget that. All right, just trying to stun lock as many enemies as I can so I can kind of breeze through this. There we go. Hit the button, go in, immediately turn with the E button. And then we're going to cruise on into the exit. And then into stores, which has probably the only glitch in the actual game. You'll see what I mean. It's nothing like super fantastic or whatnot, but it's a neat little glitch. And it saved maybe 1/10 of a second overall. All right, on to stores. All right, so I'm going to actually use the shotgun for the opening level because these enemies seem to go down a lot easier with the shotgun, especially in this part because it does have a decent little bit of spread. We also have these little floaty things that shoot fire at me. I do need to be a little bit careful so they don't set off certain enemies in flame, kind of block my path. If I do get caught in between enemies that are on fire, it will drain my health significantly. So you're seeing that health and you're like, oh, that's a lot of health. No, it's not. All right. So here's the only actual glitch in this entire game, which is this door disappears. All right, so let's do a quick strafe down. And then we're going to quickly turn, get these enemies out of the way. 8. Move in. The floor has disappeared for some reason. That's fine. On to level 2. I probably hit a button that I shouldn't have, but that's fine. We get to just walk in a void for a little bit. All right, so let's go through here. We're going to carefully do some quick turns here. Grab this key. Only for a bit. Don't want to visit for too long. And I need to make sure I hit this switch because otherwise we're going to be in for a little bit of pain later on. Need to go for this key right here, trying to avoid taking damage. Looks like my speed is decent at the moment. That somehow made my heart meter go down lower. I don't understand that. Oh, well. It worked out to my advantage. All right, so let's move over to 8. Grab this, hit this, and then I have a little bit of a trek to the next teleporter. So if you want to read off another 1 or 2 donations, this is a good time for that.
Val has donated $25 and said, forgot to set my alarm, but luckily a thunderstorm woke me up for this run. Good luck from Ghoulcat Teams. And a reference to an upcoming donation incentive with the Melodies of Life sing-along. $10 from Detective Nico saying, Melodies of Life is a song that always makes me tear up whenever I hear it. Here is for the sing-along.
Ooh, okay. Okay, good. I got the switch. All right, so this section is a bit of backtracking. I have to go to the left and then to the right. I did not hit that enemy. I hope that does not come back to bite me in the butt. Does it? No. Okay, good. So yeah, I had to do a little bit of backtracking here. There's 2 switches on this side. There's 1 switch on the other. And once I hit all 3, we can head out to the end. What do you mean, oops, it worked? I knew that was going to happen. Anyway, stores level 2 down. Now it's time for stores level 3. This is the longest of the 3 levels. This is where the 0 key comes into play. So let's hope I hit the button correctly. All right, here we go. Do we need to focus a little bit just to make sure I don't get caught here? Cool. And then, oh good, both of those enemies are standing right in front of each other, so that made that a lot better than I thought I was going to be. Okay, oh, do you mind? Okay. quickly make our way down here. I'm going to have my hand on the 8 key ahead of time. Cool. Fun fact, if I put the key in any other door slot and then go into that room, I would soft lock the game, which is that's a pretty nasty trap in the game. All right, here we go. I'm going to hit the 0 key now. Cool, we didn't crash the game. Another good time. So let's do a little bit of a strafe here. Don't need to really have my hand on the mouse at all right here. I do now, though, because there's a bunch of enemies. I'm going to need to get spread out of the way. Come on. Thank you. Also, I will note these machines right here that are like juggling things, which is pretty cool. All right. I just hear the loud hum of my power inverter because this is a PAL Amiga, so it's 240 volts. I never realized how loud that was. Okay, anyway, we're on the final part of the level, and we are going to just quickly take these enemies out. Do you mind? Thank you. And once I get this enemy out of the way, it should just be smooth sailing. So if you'd like to read another donation out, this is another good time for that.
Sure thing. We have $25 from Dad of Alex, who says, I had to put into words what GDQ means to me. Been watching for years and now lucky enough to attend for the third time live this year together with Alex. It's so great to merge our love of video games and the importance of doing good in the world with the community feeling at GDQ. Everything together showing that we can all be kind, accepting, and awesome at the same time. Thank you, everybody, from runners to staff, tech crew, and volunteers for putting together these amazing events. Agreed.
Right.
Thank you so much, Dad of Alex, for that wonderful donation towards Doctors Without Borders.
All right. Looks like I missed an enemy there, but that's fine. We got through here. So Power Plant is the second of the long sections of the run. And this particular level has a lot of fun opportunities for me to just lose a lot of time. This is not one of them. The next room that I'm going to be entering, though, is a section that I can lose a lot of time because I will just basically get knocked down to the original base speed that I started the game with. So let's hope that doesn't happen. We're just going to take these enemies out, try to grab this turkey base right here, get a little bit extra speed boost. I am still gaining speed, adding on to the max speed in the game, even now. I think it adds 6 to the value of each. The source code to this game is available on GitHub if you want to look at it. I think it's in Amiga Basic or like Blitz Basic, or maybe it's in Assembly. I have to double check, but it is available on GitHub if you would like to look it over. And this version of the game is free to play. You can go to the Retro Games Limited website. It's for the A500 Mini, but you can play it on actual Amiga. And you can get a copy of this. So if you want to actually run this game, well, there you go. That's how you can get a copy of the game and try to beat my time at it. All right, so let's be careful here. We're nearing the second half of the level because this level is pretty long. I think this is the longest level of the whole game. All right, so let's carefully be here. There's a lot of fire barrels. Cool. Notice how the enemies take damage from them, but I can just run into them and just invincible. All right, so let's carefully make our way in. Got 3 keys I'm gonna have to put in. Cool. Didn't take any damage right there, which actually surprises me, because usually I get hit like twice from the enemy in that third room. Well, that makes up for it. All right, so let's carefully get these out of the way. Lost about 30 health right there, but that's fine. Gonna move the mouse around to carefully get around here. Just use the keyboard, left turn, right turn. Try to speed this up. All right. Got the drop on that enemy. Usually they tend to get me. Not today. All right, and I need to make sure I pick up this key because this is gonna be big time loss if I don't. All right, cool, got it. All right, so let's go now and put this key in, and then we're gonna finish this level up. 0 key, cool. And then finish this level out. All right, and I'm actually gonna save here. Usually I want to save at the end of each episode, but I'm gonna save right there because that level is pretty long and I really do not want to do that again. All right, so Power Plant 2, after I get this switch over here hit and get to the next section, which I'll let you know when I get to that, we can have another donation read, but let me just focus here because This is another big place you can lose a lot of time in. Yeah, especially when there's 3 enemies right there. Oh, 4 enemies. Wow, okay. All right, if you'd like to read another donation, this is a good spot.
$5 from Gorker, who says, happy to see Commodore being represented at GDQ, even if it's not the almighty 64. Thanks, everyone, for a great week. Oh, and trans rights, of course.
That's right. Also, the Amiga's a neat system, and I would like to do C64 runs for the event. I just don't own a Commodore 64. I do plan on getting one at some point. It's just the market on, when you're looking at models on eBay, is a little bit high at the moment, so I gotta wait for a good deal on it. But I do plan on doing it. Mark my words. All right. So let's finish this level out. And then we're going to head into Power Plant 3, which has a lot of blocking moments, as I'm going to call them. All right. So we've got to get these enemies out of the way. We're going to do a quick strafe here. Only 1 enemy on this side. There's 2 enemies on the other side. And we have a bunch of enemies with fire weapons that can set other enemies on fire. So I hope to not get blocked here. I had to open my mouth. And... okay, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was expecting to get blocked on each door, but looks like only the 1. All right, so let's finish this episode out. If I can just get around this corner. Cool. Teleport out, and we're done with Power Plant. So there's only 2 3-level sections left, and then there's a final level. So we're 7 levels to go in the game. Heading into Hangar. This one's fairly short. Prison is a little bit longer. A lot of long hallways. You'll see what I mean. All right, so let's start with Hangar. I'm actually going to switch to the shotgun here. I don't normally. I'm usually using the minigun, but I'm feeling like using the shotgun right now. All right, cool. Gonna get that out of the way. Gonna make our way through here. Oh, hi there. All right, so let's quickly make our way into here. I need to get ready to switch the key to 8, and then we're gonna grab a green key, which is 9. Cool. And then we're gonna finish this level up. Now, there could be one of the robot enemies blocking the exit when I put this green key in. Hopefully we don't, because it does take a little bit to have to switch back over. Okay, not blocking fully, so that's good. All right, on to Hangar 2. There's an enemy immediately in this room. I want to get them out of the way so I can put the key in at the very end of the level. We're basically doing just a giant loop around. Pick up the key and then leave. Luckily, the key is right near the end, so it's not too far of a walk. All right, very nice. And if you want to put in a rapid fire donation right here, this would be a good point as well.
Of course, $300 from an unknown person just saying, shout out to the concept of video games. It's a good shout out. Yeah, agreed.
That is a good shout out. Okay, so Hangar 3 is the longest of the 3, and I need to make sure I turn correctly here. Cool. Should have turned the other way, but I still got to where I needed to go. And I'm gonna see how the second section. Sometimes some enemies block the door here, and I can actually get caught in the door. Luckily, that did not happen, but it can happen. I think one time I almost went out of the map, but the game pushed me back in. But yeah, you can get caught right there and just lose a lot of speed and time. Oh, hi there. All right, final part of this section. Just gonna pick this red key up, and then we're gonna make our way to the exit. There is another big robot that can block the first door of the 3 that we're gonna be putting in. But I gotta get through this little slalom here, serpentine pattern. Okay, let's go to 8, put that in. Cool, didn't get blocked. Not an enemy in here, got the next piece of the bomb, so we just got one more piece to get, and we're done with Hangar. So I'm actually going to just play the next level out. All right, 4 to go. I'm sweating bullets right now. I just want to mention, because yeah, this run is really intense. There's basically like no downtime, more or less, other than like maybe right here. What was that? Okay. This door opens. You don't have to hit the switch for some reason. And just get this enemy out of the way. gonna carefully grab this. But yeah, there's like little to no downtime. Also don't know why that image is there. Anyway, we're gonna make our way through here. And we're just gonna hit this, and we're just gonna keep going. Also, if you'd like to read a donation off while I'm trying to get through this hallway here, you can.
Sure thing. Just want to give you a reminder, the Melodies of Life sing-along is, it's getting some traction. We have a little bit of time, but if you want to hear a fantastic sing-along of the theme song, put your donations towards that incentive, ! Donate in chat. We are just shy of 4,000 of that $60,000. I want to see that hit, friends. And looking at some wonderful donation love, we have $750 from Mott saying, agreed. Taking out the wonderful FMVs from FF9 hurts my soul, so here's to patching it up at least a little with the sing-along. Thank you so much for that wonderful donation.
Okay, so remember when I mentioned long hallways? Well, we have a long hallway right here. In fact, we have, I think, 4 of them in this entire level. So let's just take a look at the sights. Got some red stuff right there. Got some doors. That's pretty good. Blinking lights on the walls. Bunch of enemies right here. I should probably do a little bit of spread to kind of get them out of the way. Try to get these turkey basters here. Cool. I need to make sure I hit 8 to get to there. Very nice. And there's another one that was right outside the door, but I'll grab that in just a second. All right, so I have another long hallway. This is actually kind of like the perfect opportunity to just get as many donations if you like red, because there's a lot of hallways in this level.
Oh, there's a lot of donations, and chat is acknowledging the amount of hallways and doors and whatnot's going on here. We have $10 from Token, who just says, thank you so much. No, thank you so much, Token. Thank you for that donation. $25 from Link's Dash Attack, who says, much love to the late night runners. These are the hours that I finally beat games as a kid. Agreed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have Flar donating $250, saying, thank you, GDQ and Doctors Without Borders. And thank you for allowing Doctors Without Borders to do their work. We also have $25 from Zindictive, who says, loving the run so far, gang. Keep up the great event as always. We have $10 from Tired in a Tree, who says, big shout out to the staff and runners working through the entire night. You're all so appreciated. Love waking up and being able to tune into the event despite living across the ocean. Also, we're petting a fox. We're not petting a fox yet. We're only at $910 of that 5,000. So if you want to put your donation towards petting the fox-shaped friend, ! Donate in chat, gdq.gg/donate. And of course, that wonderful Twitch extension. Put your donations towards petting that fox in the bow path of the Teal Lotus run coming up in a few hours from now.
All right, so we're done with the long hallway sequence, and now we're in fire. So I can definitely lose a lot of health on this section because, again, there's a lot of flamethrower enemies. And it looks like I got very, very lucky, but we're not done with the level yet because we still have a tiny little section here. Still a lot of fire enemies to shoot things and a lot of enemies to catch on fire. But luckily, if we can get past this, we're basically home free. And then we get to go to the final level of the game, the center. Whoa, come on. Thank you. All right, come on. Do a little bit of a turn. Got that? Okay, the bomb's fully in place, so now we just need to get to the end of the game. And that takes us to, again, the center. All right, so normally, at least on my stream, this is a very serious time because you can gain or lose a lot of time back here. But let's just bask in the sights. We have these Stormtrooper-like enemies right here. These kind of mix between hit scan and projectiles, but the green ones that you're about to see here, I believe only shoot projectile. I can be wrong on that, but I believe they're only projectile. And we're just going to do some tight corridor moving, very claustrophobic level, very labyrinthian level. And there's definitely a lot of room for error. But the nice thing is, since I had the countless hours of going through this, we don't have to go through most of the level. It is a huge level, but we only have to visit a little bit of it. So it's like a little roadside picnic. We're only there for just a bit, and then we're leaving. All right, so let's carefully get these enemies out of the way. I'm feeling like going to the shotgun right now. There is a basket here, a metal basket that will set this enemy on fire if they're close enough. Yep. I don't get it either, but, you know, it happens. Oop, come on. I'm at 319. As a safety, I'm going to pick up this health right here. It only gives me 50, but it's enough to help me get by, because, yeah, this is not... Oop, wrong button. Thought I hit 8. Hit 9. Just want to make sure I have my hands on the keys correctly for a second, because I do need to do a little bit of careful turning. And I would say if you want to get 1 or 2 more donations in, because we are rapidly approaching the end of the game.
Of course, I've got a series of donations without comment, but we still love them just as much. We have $100 from Soray, $50 from Mark Randy, and $50 from Lunature. Thank you so much for that those donations to MSF. They are going to be going towards a good, fantastic cause. And then we have $25 from I'm Batman, who says, thanks for the entertainment. We love you. We love you too, I'm Batman. Thank you very much.
Okay, so time will be coming up as soon as I hit no on the end result screen. For some reason, you can save on the final level of the game after completing it. But as soon as I hit no, that will be the end time. So I just need to hit 0 one more time. It's heart-crushing when you accidentally hit minus key when you made it this far in. All right, pick up the boost, fades out, and time.
GG's.
And now you get to look at the ending cutscene, because we didn't get to see the introduction. Got the cool CGI ship, and then it flies away to a realist, actual like explosion. Yeah. All right. Anyway, this is a cool game. You should play it. If you have Amiga Forever or like the A500 Mini, you should definitely pick this up and play it. If you have an actual Amiga like I do, you should definitely pick it up and play it. It's an interesting FPS game. The Amiga has a lot of interesting FPS games. It's a system that's not really designed to play games like this, but they prove them wrong, and there's a lot of neat variety in them. Anyway, it is like, what, 5 a.m.? Oh, what was my end time? Oh, that's not bad. That is not bad at all. It's actually about what I thought it was going to be. But yeah, it's 5 a.m. I need to go eat a bagel and then go to bed. So with that said, my name is tbcr. I hope you have a good rest of the marathon. We're only, what, 10 runs left in it? 11-ish, 12-ish? But anyway, I do hope you have a good rest of the marathon. Hope we hit a good number in those donations. Definitely keep sending in those donations to MSF. It's a good charity. And I'll see you next time.